Good morning. I want to give you a little case study today, talking about a brand that I love and a lot of people love, Liquid Death. That's backwards. But actually, a lot of people don't love. There's a lot of success around this brand. There's a lot of talk around this brand. There's a lot of controversy. It's very polarizing, which I just think is hilarious because at the end of the day, it's water. So let's talk about it. What's making them successful and how you can then go apply that to your business, because these guys aren't special. They just know what they're doing. Let's look at the obvious, like unique packaging. If you go to their website, they have unique merchandise. It looks like a beer can, even though it's water. It's got this like death metal look to it, like it's like a motorcycle gang. So it's very outside the norm of what you would see as water, right? Like most water, you're looking for clear, blue, crystally mountains and flowing rivers and things like that. There's nothing about this that's flowy except for like this down here, and that looks like some kind of goo. So they really took a risk on the packaging to appeal to a certain kind of person. As much as this looks rebellious and scary to some, it is actually turning people off because it is rebellious and scary. Their value system is all around the environment. So they're looking at reducing plastics, more recyclable materials, and you can see a lot of that stuff like on their social feed about how this is actually helping the environment, which is not just an important stance to have, but companies nowadays, like what the things that they stand for outside of just making money actually are really important to people. That's something to think about when you're building your own brand, is what are we doing to better the world? Not just what are we doing to line our pockets. It's making water cool. It's making sustainability cool. I mean, we can't be mad about this, but some people are still very upset about it. So it's not about the product that you're selling. It is about your messaging. It is about what you stand for. It is about having fun with your packaging and your messaging. If you read the side of this right here, and any of their content really on their website or their socials, like it's funny. And it's very tongue-in-cheek. And I think one of their recent commercials was like a kid's birthday party. And they have this, and all the kids are like partying it up. And that's controversial. Like I even took a second look at that. It was like, wait a second, but it is just water. And so they're breaking a lot of just kind of stereotypes, which I think is pretty cool. This is how you stand apart. Okay, you look at what's out there, you look at what you want to do, and you find a way to make it really interesting, because this is just generating a lot of talk, and because of that, people are buying it. If you get it, you get it, and the people that don't get it are the ones having an issue with it. That doesn't really matter. Like, they've targeted their audience and they've polarized everybody else. And do they have a lot of haters? Yeah. I don't think that they care, because they're having a good time doing this, and there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. It's just out of the box. It's just unexpected. And the people that love it are sold out because they get the humor, they get the message, they love what they're standing for. And people want a brand that's having a good time. People want a brand that isn't afraid. People want a brand that not just speaks to them. Like this appeals to people's style, but it's also how they're putting themselves out there, how they're goofing around with it, how they're trying to be silly. And, this is murder your thirst. Like, it's just fun. So have some more fun in your brand. I guarantee you they are still following a lot of the branding and marketing rules. There is a consistent look and feel. There is a consistent message. There is consistency. It's just not what you're used to seeing from a water company. If this was a beer company or like an energy drink company, nobody would be like questioning anything. It's because it's water, and people expect a certain stereotype around water. Isn't that interesting? Water. If it was shitty, obviously that would gain attention too. So you pay attention to the quality of the product, but then the reason people are buying this is the emotion. I think it's hilarious. I'm going to buy anything that's hilarious. I just am. Plus, it's fun to look at. Plus, it's different. But when you get people laughing like this, it's memorable. When you look completely different than everything else on the shelf, it's memorable. When, like, you're appealing to people's emotions. And that's what works. So think about that when you're creating or recreating your own brand, because these are the things that people are buying. It's not about how pretty it is. It's not about how professional it looks. It's not about any of that stuff. Okay, so you can throw all of that away. You want people to have an experience with your brand. Okay, so that's what we're going for. So if you have a business, you can have this same kind of freedom and fun in your marketing and in your branding. The question is, are you brave enough to actually go there? Because this is risky. It is. You don't know if this is going to succeed or fail. And what I see people do so many times, myself included, is play it safe because you know this will go over smoothly, instead of really drilling down on who you are, how you want to show up, creative ways that maybe nobody's thought of before. Like, those are all, they feel very vulnerable. Okay, so I get it, but this is where you're going to get like the traction and the attention that you want your brand to have, so you can have that bigger impact. And this is available to anybody because all they did is put themselves out there in unconventional ways. That's it. A brand is not a logo. A brand is not a website. A brand is not even all those visual things put together. The brand is the persona. The brand is the experience that everybody else is having around said product. Okay? That's what you want to deliver. That's what you want to offer. You don't have all the control because people are going to interpret you the way that they interpret you. Obviously, people love this, people hate this. It's not going to be the same experience for everybody, but you want to have as much control over that persona that you put out there as possible. Okay? So here's a couple questions that I always ask my clients to help you get closer to this. All right. So it's going to make you think a little bit differently, get outside the box, get out of your own way, and you're going to see all those risky moves that you really want to take. You're just not brave enough to take them yet. Okay, but I'm gonna help you get there. You can think about these on your own. If you need help, obviously reach out. I do this all day, every day. So I'm here to help you do it. First question, if you could do anything creatively with your brand or your business, think outside the box. Sky's the limit. Like, what would you do? Okay, if you didn't think you were held back by any kind of like marketing rules or internet rules or whatever it is, like financial rules, whatever, what would you do with your brand that just feels like so creative and so out of the box? You're like, oh, I really wish I could do that. The second question is, what do you want your audience to actually feel? Most people don't think about this. They're like, oh, it's a product, there's benefits, blah, 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 features. What do you want people to feel when they encounter you and your product or your service or whatever it is? Is it excitement? Is it nostalgia? Is it sentimental, whatever? It can be anything, but you need to think about, because you're selling an emotion, okay? You're not selling a product. I can't say that enough. You're not selling a product. You are selling an emotion. Is a huge benefit, and a huge reason why people buy products like this. Not because of the actual water inside this can, not even because of the can. So those are a couple questions that I'd say 95% of designers are not asking, and they should be, because it helps you it makes my job so much easier when we have those things on paper. And they can take you a lot deeper into the experience that you want your customers to be having, which is ultimately why they're buying anyways. It doesn't matter if you're new, if you just started your business like last week, or if you've been doing this for decades. You can still apply these to your brand as you're thinking about a rebrand or a new brand. This level of resonating with a company for their values and persona is available to you. It's available to anybody. You just have to know what you're doing. So have a great Friday. Put your answers in the comments. Let me know how I can help you. I'll talk to you later.